Everything on YouTube is about being specific. You know, in order to be successful, it's like you have to define yourself. You have to define your channel. You have to find your specific niche. Everything has to be clearly defined. But the problem is, I'm not a clearly defined person. I grew up skateboarding. That's me. I'm like 16 or 17 in this picture. But in those days, skateboarding and photography went hand in hand. You know, my friends and I all grew up shooting film because, well, digital wouldn't exist for another 12 to 15 years at that point. Don't do the math on how old I am. The point being, I've always had this love of photography, and so when it came to starting a YouTube channel, I thought, well, yeah, I'll just make a photography YouTube channel. Like in the old days, that was the main thing that I watched on YouTube. Like, I'm old school to the point where I remember when the only real photography channel was Gordon Lang. Gordon Lang would have to wiggle his fingers in front of the lens just to prove that a DSLR had live view. That was big, that was high tech back then. I was watching Digital Rev before Kai and Locke. You know, I was watching Digital Rev back when it was just Mr. Handsman doing unboxing videos. The point being, when it came time to start a YouTube channel, photography seemed like the obvious thing. The catch was, when you do start to define your channel, you kind of paint yourself into a corner. Because now it's like, all I am is a photography channel. You know, I had a comment on the last video from a guy named Dick McPecker. I wonder if that's his real name. But he said, review the cats. And I loved that idea. I thought that was hilarious. That was a great idea for a video. But the problem is, I'm supposed to be a photography channel. I'm supposed to only talk about cameras and lenses and gear and equipment and all that shit. We're multifaceted beings trying to distill ourselves down into one-dimensional characters. I'm a huge fan of adult film star Dani Daniels, but I realize I'm more fascinated by her Instagram and her podcast and her life with, like, Vic and the dogs and, like, all of her real world stuff. Like, I'm not just fascinated by the adult film industry. I'm fascinated by her as a complete person. You know, and that's the difficulty in trying to create a niche-specific channel. I mean, you end up throwing out all of your other interests just for one interest. You know, I mean, I'm really into reading and writing. I've read every book Henry Miller has ever written. I love Jack Kerouac. I also like other authors like Colin Wilson and Gary Lockman. I'm into, you know, magic and the occult and witchcraft. I like I like paranormal investigations. I'm super into theories about UFOs and aliens. But all of these things, it's like, they don't fall into the realm of photography, so it's like, we can't really talk about any of these things. Anyway, I guess the whole point of this video is, I will try my best to keep this a photography-related channel, but there's gonna be times where certain videos are about other topics. Also, I'm like 99% sure I'm gonna make that cat review video. Anyway, I think that's all I've got for today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.